to another episode of Math Snacks with Miss Lovely and Miss Wonderful. Today we're going to talk about telling time.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about telling time to the nearest 5 minutes.
Good.
And sometimes that's a concept. It seems like such an easy concept to do, but sometimes it's really hard for kids to understand.
Oh, I bet.
So today we're going to talk about an activity thinking about the clock as a circular number line.
That's good. I'm glad someone has to teach that. I never had to, but I'm glad somebody does.
Okay. Well, first I'm going to kind of just describe a little bit about the activity. We have here what I guess you could call a necklace. It's kind of a fancy one, but notice on the front I have a numeral.
Right.
And on this I would put any of the numerals from 1 to 12.
Okay. I bet you could make that with just yarn and a piece of tagboard, too.
Yeah, anything. Anything that'll go around their necks.
Okay.
Okay? And on the back side, I'm going to put the number of minutes that corresponds to the face, to the number, to the hour hand.
Okay.
So, for example, here, the 3, if the minute hand was on the 3, what time would it be?
3:15.
Yeah, it'd be on the 15th.
Right.
So on the back, I'm going to put the minutes, and then I'm going to add quarter after, because we can also read when it's at quarter 15, we can also call that the quarter after.
Right.
So imagine 12 of these.
Okay.
Front side 1 to 12, back side 0 to 55.
Okay.
Okay? So let's look at what this would look like. Call 12 students up to the front of the room
Okay.
and give them a necklace. So we're going to call these our necklaces.
Okay.
And we ask them to stand in a circle. And in any order, doesn't matter at this point.
Order.
Randomly, yeah.
Okay.
So one of the very first concepts with telling time is we have to be able to count at least to
12.
12. So we do this by doing, I call it hot potato.
Okay. Oh,
Ooh.
can we use a ball?
We can use a ball.
Okay.
I usually use a bean bag
Okay.
to toss. But so the number 1 starts. Number 1 throws to 2.
Okay.
2 throws to 3.
3 throws to 4. Can I do it?
You got it.
And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right. So just giving them practice because that's a foundational skill for them
Okay.
to understand that. Then we ask them to turn their necklace over.
Okay.
So we're going to flip all these over. And,
Which you have to do because I have trouble with that skill.
okay, well, I
You
will
know
do
me.
some of that.
I'll try. I figured out a way. I can help you a little.
Okay, well, I'm glad that's helping me get that done quickly like that.
Okay.
So, okay, and what do you notice about these numbers?
Now they go from, let's see, the lowest one is this 00 up to 55. And they
Okay.
have a colon in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have these words.
Okay, we're going to call those, they're special folks.
Okay.
They actually have special names.
Oh.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
Right now we're just going to look at the numerals.
Okay.
Same process, but we're going to start with 00, and they're going to play catch with either a beanbag or a ball or whatever. And so 0 is going to bounce the ball to 5. 5 is going to bounce to 10,
15,
20,
20, 25, and so on.
Right.
Up
You got
to
the idea.
55.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. After they do that, I'm going to ask them to turn their necklaces back over to the big numbers.
Okay. I'll get the ball out of your way.
Okay. And when they turn it over to the big numbers, I say, now I'd like you to line up in order from smallest to largest.
Okay.
So they scurry around
And get in order.
and get in order. Got a problem with my throat right now. I'm not sure what's going on with my voice.
Well, you've probably been doing too many math snacks lately.
You think I've been talking too much?
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Well, you get the idea. We put them in order.
Right?
Okay. And then we take a string and
Okay.
hold on to the string.
Okay.
And this then starts to represent
A number line.
a number line.
Cool.
Okay.
We love our number lines.
Number lines are a great manipulative to be using in so many different things. So then what I'm do is I ask them to hold on to the number line and to go from a straight line into a circle.
Okay, so
So they
12
start-
matches up with the 1.
12 comes over to 1, and let's kind of show what that's going to look like when they get in a circle.
It's a little harder when they're not real people
Yeah.
and we're having to move them around.
But when they're moving on their own,
They're moving quickly because they've just circled up the wagons, so to
did.
speak.
so they're just moving into a circle.
I need to move up a little. There's 6. And 5 and
You-
11. There
okay.
we go.
Let's see if we can get them all on so we can see them.
Okay.
So you got the idea. They make a number line. We also, which we should have done maybe before we circled the wagons, we could have had them turn their necklace over and see that it was also 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way to 55.
Cool.
And we could have also had them say, what comes between 5 and 10. Well, that would be all your little minute hands, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on.
Right.
So now we have it there. And I say, kids, drop your necklaces down by where you're standing.
Okay.
So that way they can see. And we talk about the parts of a clock.
Okay.
So tell me what you're noticing.
Well, the numbers are in order, just like they were on the number line, but it's circular.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, what else should I be noticing?
Well,
Oh, well, we're missing pieces,
we're missing
faces of the
pieces.
clock. We're missing the hands.
we're missing the hands.
Okay.
And I have students come in and be the hands. We're
Oh.
going to actually be the hands.
Oh.
But before we do that, we're going to use our bodies to tell time. But think of these numbers as first names.
Okay.
So we're going to use the concept of a first name. And you have a first name.
I do.
You also have a last name.
Yes.
Okay? And so
Ms. must be my first name and Glovely is my last,
that's
right?
right. And my first name is Miss.
Uh-huh.
And my last name is
Wonderful.
Okay, very good. So if we do first and last names, what I ask them to do is on the back of their names, I always have them on sticky notes. I have them take their last name. This first name is usually shorter,
Right?
and the last name is typically longer.
That's correct.
So their last names are the bigger or larger numbers.
Okay, so yeah, 105 or 210.
That's it. First and
First
last
and
name.
last name.
First and last name for 3 is
315 would be 15 would be the last name.
last name is 15.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly turn these over.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
Kind of limited on those hands, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm not very good at very fine manipulation here. Fine
Okay.
motor coordination isn't good in gloves.
But they are very beautiful gloves.
Don't you love my purple?
And tell us again where you got your gloves from.
Those were from my late grandmother. She had gloves for every occasion, evidently.
Yeah,
I only got part of them, I think, but I have quite a few.
cool. Okay, as you're looking at these,
Yes.
you know they were in order 1 to 12.
That's right.
And they're also in order by counting by what?
5s.
By 5s. And so that would be like if we had it a straight number line. Again, we've been counting by 5s on that number line, still in order.
Cool.
Just a different interval that we're looking at, or a scale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have our names. So I'm just going to use some of our pens first because I've decided fingers don't work so well to see what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
But we would be, if we were standing in here, we would be using our arms and our hands.
Right.
Okay.
Okay? But instead we're just going to use tips of a pen.
Can I do one?
You sure can.
Okay.
Do you want to be the first name or the last name?
The first one.
Okay.
I like to go first.
And the first name's normally shorter.
Right.
So on a clock, which I'm just going to pull one in real quick.
Okay.
The hour hand or the first name is usually it is always the shorter
Right.
hand on the
Oops,
clock.
we have a problem there because you're usually the shorter person, but okay.
This time I get to be the last name.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be the long hand.
Okay.
So we're gonna, in this case, they're the same length. I'm just going to pull these out and we're going to use these.
Okay. Forget pin tips. We're going to use bobby pins.
We're gonna use bobby pins. Bobby pins, great tool.
Okay.
Best thing since sliced bread. So if I said the number 540,
Okay.
you're the first name.
I'm the first name, and I wouldn't point exactly at the 5 because it's not 5 o'clock. It's 5:40, so I have to go partway between the 5 and the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And because I'm 40, I would point mine to the 40 or to the last name.
Okay.
Okay? Clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
Try another one.
Okay.
Let's try 3:05.
Okay. It's 3 and it's past 3, but it's just barely past 3, so I would just turn mine a little bit past the 3.
And I would go to the 05.
Cool.
So the long hand, or the long minute hand, actually goes all the way around one time.
When I just moved from there to there.
So I'm actually faster than you in this case, Miss Glovely.
Doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't because normally I'm slower than you.
No.
You're hard to keep up with.
I don't know about that.
There's some special names here that we ought to talk about real quick.
Oh, yeah. This one, yeah, they have words that go like quarter after and half past and quarter till. Those words remind me of fractions.
They do remind me of fractions. It also reminds me of money.
Yes, they do.
You know, $0.25, it takes 4 of them to make $1.
That's true.
And $0.50, it takes 2 to make one of those.
That's correct.
So let's talk about these, because I could call this, let's see, I'm just going to do this real quick. 3, what's this time?
Well, it would be 3:45 if I used the numerals. But it could also be 1/4 till 4.
Okay, or what time is this?
That would be, 3:15 or 1/4 after 3.
Okay, so they kind of have some special names. So let's talk about where the quarter and the half all come in.
You want a round
Woo!
clock face again?
Yeah, let's do a round clock face. Let's bring the round clock face back.
Okay. So, if we were talking about the half, I could take the same size circle, fold it in half, and lay it on the clock face, and
Which is why we call it, when it's down at the 6,
half
half
past.
past. Whoops, I can't see that. But at the 6, we call it half past because it's actually half of the rotation. Okay?
And then if I fold my circle again in half,
Let's go on this side.
you want to go on that side?
Let's go on this side.
Okay. Then we would be,
At the 45, last name.
right, and that would be 1/4 until the next hour, whichever one we were looking at,
Because it takes 4 of these quarters, right?
to fill up the entire clock face.
So we could we call this is quarter after, can we call this 2/4 after? 2/4 after?
Well, you could, but if you reduce a fraction, 2/4 would become 1/2.
Oh, so we have to use that terminology in math?
That's typically what we would use. That would be the conventional way to say that time.
Okay. Some other ideas for working with clock faces I've seen is you take a tortilla shell.
Ooh,
now
we're talking food.
Food's
This is
always
one of
good.
our favorites.
Food's always good. Take a tortilla shell
Okay.
and take licorice.
I like strawberry, and they have a new cinnamon licorice that is the bomb.
Cinnamon, huh?
I love it.
And the licorice becomes
The hands.
the hands. Which, you know what? Because the first hand, or the hour hand, and the minute hand, because the hour hand is shorter,
Do I get to eat part of it?
you get to eat part of your licorice.
Yes. All right.
And then we use M&Ms for the minutes,
Yum.
and you use peanut M&Ms for the 5 minutes, and plain for the. You want to talk about motivational.
Yum.
You throw food in there, and I will learn my time to the minute easily.
Oh, cool. So we would get even better at telling time because we wouldn't be doing 5 minutes. We would be clear, accurate to the minute.
And how many M&Ms would I need if I was going to do it?
60.
60.
Yum.
Awesome. Then we could talk about, if we're only going to the 5 minutes, how many M&Ms, and that those correspond with, those good old numbers that are on the clock.
I love it.
Just some other ideas for teaching telling time.
Fabulous.
Thank you for another edition of Math Facts, for joining us with Miss Glovely and Miss Wonderful.